boat down to my boat, baby. Every mother's son. Oh, man. That old boat's floating down there on the old Tennessee River just north of Muscle Shoals, Alabama. Good morning, Candi Staton. How you doing?
Good morning, Rick. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm glad we finally were able to get connected this morning.
I know.
You got to love modern communications, emails and tweets and, texts and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So how was your Mother's Day?
Both down the wrong road.
Oh, yeah. How was your Mother's Day?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I hope you had a good one.
I did.
Yeah.
I did the Shaky Knees artist with Jason Isbell yesterday, so that was a good thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was his guest. I was a guest appearance here in front of about 10,000 people, which was really nice. And because he's on the CD with me.
He is. As a matter of fact, he and who else? John Paul Waite on that track. We'll be playing that track a little bit later on, by the way. So,
okay.
So just a heads up to everybody. So we'll be talking about that. But you had you recorded way back in the day, and this is one thing that really interests me is your association with Fame Studios down there in Muscle Shoals, Rick Hall, and all those folks down there. 'Cause that's really where you got your big start, is it not?
Yes, it is.
Uh-huh.
And back in 1969, my first record came out called "I'd Rather Be an Old Man's Sweetheart Than to Be a Young Man's Fool."
I love that title.
It was written for Aretha. George Jackson, who was the writer of the song, was down there visiting Rick. Because Rick had some, he produced Aretha Franklin's first 2 or 3 big hits.
That's right.
So he was thinking that Rick could get that song to her, rather. And so I happened to come in. Clarence Carter brought me in because Etta James had just left Rick Hall and gone to Atlantic Records, and he was looking for a female artist to replace her. You
actually backed up Clarence in a couple of songs, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I was on record with him. I wasn't doing much singing, just moaning a little bit.
Hey, that's Muscle Shoals. What can I tell you? Right. And you're not too far away from there where you were born in was Hanceville?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hanceville, Alabama. I was born there, and no, Muscle Shoals is around about 100, maybe a little over 100 miles from Hanceville.
Oh, okay. So.
Yeah.
But it's still the same state.
Yeah, it is. I still never left Alabama.
Yeah. And by the way, I did want to congratulate you on your appearance on the PBS special, The Independent Lens.
Okay.
That was.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed that special, all about Muscle Shoals and all the stuff that went on, and you and Clarence and all those folks that were involved in the recordings way back in those days.
Yeah, It's great that it's coming out. I'm glad it's finally got what the dues that Muscle Shoals deserve, because so many times we've overlooked Muscle Shoals. So many hits have come out of that little country town.
Oh yeah.
And nobody knows. They know the artist, but they don't know. They don't get interested in where it was recorded. A lot of people in Europe do.
Oh yeah.
Historians there, so they want to know who's on it, what their names are. Who was playing bass and drums. A lot of us just don't care. We just like the song, go out and buy it, we dance to it, and we put it back in our library.
Yeah.
But not so. Muscle Shoals, Motown got its dues, and Philly International got its dues, and Warner, all of these other places got their dues about artists, except Muscle Shoals. Never really, I thought, got what was due them.
Yeah, and I'm glad to see that too, because Muscle Shoals is like the mainstay of Southern soul. It really is.
It really is.
It was really, and that was a great story to get all that history. And I know some friends of mine who've actually visited Muscle Shoals Studios and are just kind of in awe of the history of what went down there. And
when you walk in there, that's where the documentary came from. Stephen Badger came in, and he was coming through this. He got tired, and he was spending the night over in Muscle Shoals. He stopped in Muscle Shoals and got a hotel room, and he was hungry, so he went down to the restaurant and saw these pictures on the wall. And he says, "What are all these pictures doing on the wall?" He said, "You don't know where you are?" He says, "No, where am I?" He says, "You're in Muscle Shoals, the home of music, Southern soul music."
Oh, man.
He said, "All of these people recorded here." He said, "Where?" He said, "Fame Records right over there, and also Muscle Shoals Sound." He said,
"That's right."
He said, "Let me go check that out." So he went and checked it out, and that's how the beginning of the documentary. He thought that we had a story to tell.
And quite a story it is. If you have not seen the documentary Independent Lens, Muscle Shoals, look it up on pbs.org because it's worth a look to. And I'm sure you can probably stream it off of the website or maybe get it off of the Roku channel that PBS has as well.
It's on DVD, too. You can also buy it.
Super.
Yeah.
That's something we got to have.
Yeah.
So, well, let's talk about you and your new CD, which was recorded again. You went back to your roots at Muscle Shoals at Fame Studios and Rick and pulled together this CD called Life Happens.
Yeah, Rick has 3 songs on there. The rest of the stuff is actually done, produced by one of my next to my oldest son, Marcus, and I.
Oh, cool!
We did our own production on the other songs. So, and also we have 2 songs on there that was done in London.
Oh, really?
My band that plays for me every time I go do tours in London is on there as well. That's close to you, and I like where I'm at.
Well, tell me about this. This is one of my favorite tracks off this song, off the CD. 3 minutes to a relapse.
Relapse, yeah.
Where was that recorded? What's the story on that one?
Oh my goodness, it's a relationship story. I've been through so many failed relationships, and it's enough to drive you mad. You know, when you go through a lot of you get to the same point. It seems like every time in a relationship, and people come in your life and you don't know what they want. When you're in the business that I'm in, and other artists can attest to this, you don't know if it's you or your image.
Yeah.
And so they look at you. They don't know if they're after your money or they're trying to get in your limelight or what it is. But obviously it's not me, because if it was me, it would have lasted. And it comes in and they start to control, and then they want to get into the business, and they want to be your manager, and they want to answer the phone, and they want to tell you what the other person on the end can or cannot do concerning your business. And before you know it, you're going head to head with them about your business. Look, we got married. That's one thing, but I was in this long before I met you.
That's right.
And you're not going to destroy my career. And they don't like that, being that, you know, that male testosterone, and I can attest to with the men, you know. They're the boss. I want to be the boss, and you're not telling me what to do. And before you know it, you're at each other's throat. And you can't deal with it. And you're on the road so much. If they can't travel with you, you know, sometimes, so often they accuse you of other people that you might be dealing with, which when you turn it back around, it's them that's doing all the tipping and cheating, you know. And when you get back home, home don't feel like home. If there's somebody else in there with you, and you can feel it. And everybody that has any emotional scars know what I'm talking about. You walk in the house, and it wasn't the same guy you left. Something happened. And then you start digging, and before you know it, you know you're fighting, and you're getting divorced and all that stuff. And so it happened to me one time too many. And I wrote that song. 3 minutes to a relapse.
Okay, let's do this. We're right up on top of the hour, so I need to play a station identification, and then we'll segue from that right into the song 3 minutes to a relapse.
Find somebody else to misuse. Find somebody else to abuse.
Oh, man, find somebody else, baby. Gotta love that, Candi. I'm telling you what. You were telling them off there.
Oh, Lord. Kind of got a little hot on the collar on that one.
Woo! Yeah, but that's what it's all about, you know. Music is life, and life is music. And speaking of music and life, I want to talk about one of your husbands.
Okay.
Go back to Clarence Carter.
Yeah.
Did you marry him before you came in the studio, or did your relationship blossom while you were working together?
We started dating after, you know, we started shortly after. We started dating shortly after I met him. And, you know, so I was on the road with him. I was opening his show, and I would open for him before my record was, you know, it was getting ready to come out, but it hadn't came out yet. So I was kind of working, and he was, you know, I was on his payroll, and we were waiting for the record to come out. And so he hired me to go on the road with him. He always had a review, and that's how we became so close. And we would be together every day, eat breakfast, eat lunch. I'd ride in the car with him. We were just going up and down the road, and we got to know each other quite well.
Yeah, and even though your marriage is over with now, but
Yeah.
you still remain good friends with him.
Yes, I do.
You told me something I thought was just incredible, that
Yeah.
a couple of Christmases ago you actually had him and his family over for Christmas dinner.
Yeah, we cooked dinner. He was, and then he listened to that song that you just heard. He said, "Oh, that's a hit record."
I agree with him. Well, you kind of got out of secular music for a while, and you were a minister, right?
Yes, I still am.
Uh-huh.
I still am. I still do things for the church. I was really, to be honest with you, a lot of people have separated, put that dividing line between gospel and secular music. But that's why I went and made this record, Life Happens. It's just life. These are life songs.
I agree with you, because to me, Southern soul and gospel are almost the same thing.
They are just different lyrics.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all about life. Al Green, a friend of mine, and
Oh, yeah.
he asked me one time, he said, "What's wrong with, I'm so tired of being alone?" I said, "Al, nothing." I said, "And it's truth. As long as I'm telling the truth, it doesn't matter what I sing. As long as I'm respectful and tell the truth about what's happening in my life. We can talk about it, Rick, but why can't we sing about it?
Amen.
We can sit at the table all day long, talk about the hurt and pain and problems I'm going through, but that's fine. And you can do it in ministers, in presence of ministers, and they will amen you. But don't put it on record and sing it. You just going to hell, And what is it? I mean, it's the same thing. It's just happened to be put to music.
Yeah.
So life does happen.
Yeah.
It happens, and we all go through it. Pastors get divorced. Ministers get divorced. Evangelists get divorced. They fight. They may not let you know it, but they fight anyway.
Oh, yeah.
I know some that do. You know,
they're people.
But they're people. We're all people.
Yeah, exactly. Well, speaking of people, there's a couple of people you collaborated with on the CD on one track, John Paul White and Jason Isabel.
Right.
And,
yeah.
Tell me about this track.
Well, this track is called "I Ain't Easy to Love." Rick was he said this is a great record, but we couldn't find anyone to do it with. I knew there had to be a young person, some young people on this record with me. I just felt it in my spirit that I need to find somebody that can really sing to be on this record, that's willing to be on here with this lady from the 70s. So I did the Letterman show, and somehow they brought in John Paul and Jason Isbell. And I'd met John Paul in Nashville because I gave Rick his Lifetime Achievement Award. I presented it to him, and we were all on the show together there. And I'd met John, and but I hadn't met Jason yet. I'd seen him. I'd been referred to him. I looked saw his song. He did a song on me called "Heart on a String" on one of his albums. And so I looked up and I saw her. I said, "Gosh, she can sing." But it just happened, Ricky. It just happened. They just, they all got us together. We rehearsed one time before we did the show, and then we went and did the show.
Wow.
And I met her. We were just all strangers standing there almost. And then when we got back, it went so well. When we got back to the dressing room, I said, "I wish y'all would do that with me on the record." I said, "Well, I still need somebody to help me on this record to do this song." He said, "We'd be honored."
Super.
I said, "Oh my God, bless your heart. Would you really?" I said, "You're joking." He said, "No, we'd be honored to do it." They came into and so happened they both are from Muscle Shoals. They're both from Muscle Shoals. John still lives there in Muscle Shoals, and Jason lives in Nashville now, but he's from Muscle Shoals.
So let's give a listen now to "I Ain't Easy to Love" with recorded down there in Muscle Shoals. Oh man, I'm digging that organ in there. That Hammond thing going on there, Candy. What do you know?
Love it, don't you?
Oh yeah,
I mean, a real one.
that says Muscle Shoals, if nothing else, huh?
I know. That's the old. You can't duplicate that sound.
That's right. That's
I
right.
don't care how modern they get these things and all that digital stuff. You cannot. The old Hammond organ.
I'm looking at some of the pictures of you along with John Paul White and Jay Isbell and Rick Hall. That's a nice picture of you guys. Was that actually taken in the? It looks like it was taken in the studios.
It was. It was. We were all together when we did this song.
Yeah, and of course the name.
So much fun.
The name of this brand new CD, and it's released. We're hearing it early because it's going to be released tomorrow. Is called Life Happens, Candi Staton. Boy, I'm telling you. Candi, you what's coming up with you in your life in the near future? You're going overseas, right?
Yeah, I'm going to Germany. I think it's called the Baltic Festival over there in Germany. But you can go online and look up all my dates. It's candi-staton.com, and you'll find out everything that I'm doing. So I'm going over there then I'm doubling back to London and doing another festival, and that's a little short couple of days I'm out. I'll be gone out of the country, but then September I'm doing a whole tour over there, so you really need to look that up, and I want to see you when I get there. I'd love to see my audience. They're wonderful.
Well, I tell you, I know that they would love to see you too, and I tell you, to me, it's been a real pleasure because and we were just talking offline about my favorite song of yours, of course, is Count on Me, even more than Young Hearts Run Free, because Count on Me has got a real positive tone to it, and I really like that,
It's kind of gospel-y, isn't it?
It is.
It is like a gospel song,
It does sound like a gospel song. As a matter of fact, you can probably, twist a couple of the lyrics there and make a gospel song out of it, with the same verse.
You could take it back. I was thinking about doing that one time when I was just singing gospel music.
Yeah.
I have several songs that you could take and just take out Baby and put Lord Jesus in there, and make it a gospel song.
Yeah, maybe, and you know what? Maybe you ought to try that.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing that.
Your secular audience probably would like that,
Yeah, okay.
Especially those of us from deep down here in the South, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So, Candi, it's been a real pleasure talking with you this morning. I really appreciate you taking the time to call in this morning and celebrate the release of your brand new CD, which is coming out tomorrow. The name of the CD, of course, is Life Happens, Candi Staton, Fame Records, all that kind of good stuff, man. So you be sure to check up the Candi Staton right here on WSC-FM. Candi, hang on the line. We'll talk to you again in just a moment here.
Okay.
In the meantime, I'm going to play another one of Candi's songs, and that is a song called Commitment.